Today on Making It with Chef Cheri, we're making a pumpkin cheesecake just in time for Thanksgiving. And of course, we're making it easy peasy pumpkin squeezy using a no-bake recipe, and we're also making it perfectly delicious using the absolute best pumpkin pie spice I've ever tasted. It comes compliments of Gramercy Kitchen, and it is made using only the best restaurant quality ingredients. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. Can you believe Thanksgiving is like just 2 weeks away? I know I can't. And if you're like me, every Thanksgiving I can never find enough time, I can never find enough effort and energy, I can never find enough room in the kitchen to cook and make and bake all the things that I want to. So today I have a super delicious, smooth and creamy dessert recipe that I'm going to share with you that's going to save you a lot of time and effort in the kitchen. We're going to be making a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake, and we are going to do it using some pumpkin pie spice, compliments of our friends at Gramercy Kitchen. So to get started, we're going to make our crust, and the crust, if I'm being honest, is kind of like my favorite part because you can customize it however you want. I mean, well, you can customize the whole cheesecake, but over the years, I know typically your recipe for cheesecakes will call for a graham cracker crust, and I just kind of always thought that was really boring. So I started out with vanilla wafers, and from there I went to, recently I did a strawberry cheesecake that I did the strawberry sugar wafers. I used partly that and something else, I don't remember. Anyway, for this one today, I decided to grab the really cheap, but I like these, the iced oatmeal cookies at Dollar General. So you need about 200 grams of cookies, so you can just figure that up on whatever, just look at the grams and figure it out that way based on whichever cookie you buy. I know like my family's favorite is like Oreo cookies. They really like the golden cookies. I really like the lemon ones. And they like me to use the Oreos whenever I make a graham cracker crust, not a graham cracker crust, a cheesecake crust. But anyway, here is my iced oatmeal cookie. So this is about 98 grams. So about 300 grams. I said I need 200. There are 3 rows in here, minus 1 cookie because I got hungry as I was setting up for this video. So basically, I just know that I need 2 rows, give or take. Now to this, I'm gonna add 1 full stick of melted butter. And I'm just putting this in my food processor. And I'm also gonna add in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar. And if you don't have brown sugar and you just have like regular sugar, that's fine. You can use that too. And also I used salted butter because I use salted butter in everything. That's just the way I do it. If you want to use unsalted, obviously you can do that as well. So I'm just going to give this a good grind. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's pop the lid off and kind of push all this down. Give it a whirl maybe one more time. Make sure I don't have any big cookie chunks in there. All right, I think that is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the lid off of here, set this aside, remove this, and we're just gonna grab our Springform pan. I gotta tell you, I love this Springform pan because it's color coded. So it's red on the outside and it is white on the inside. And so for instance, if you've never used a Springform pan, sometimes it's confusing as to which way that it will go. And I know that because it's color coded, this is the correct way. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and take our graham cracker crust and use my spatula here. Make sure we get it all out. And what we wanna do is really pack this down in here. And we want to do that because the more we pack this, the better it'll set up, the better it'll hold together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my measuring cup. I'm going to use the bottom of that. And I'm just going to keep pressing. I want to try to get it as even as I can. And I want to pack it in as much as I can. And like I said, this is really going to help whenever you go to cut your cheesecake. It's going to hold together instead of kind of crumble all apart. I'm just going to go over this and kind of smooth it out with my finger just a little bit. And the inside just a little bit. And then the other thing that we're going to do that's going to help hold this together is we're going to throw this in the freezer for about 30 minutes and let it kind of firm up. All right, so while our crust is in the freezer firming up, we can go ahead and work on our filling, which we're gonna do in like 2 increments. So the first part is gonna be like the cream cheese, and the second part is gonna be with the heavy whipping cream. So I've got 3 blocks of cream cheese in here, and I'm also gonna do the first part with my paddle attachment and the second part with my whip. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer, of course you can use a hand mixer. Might take just a little bit longer, but that's all right. We're gonna put our paddle attachment on here. It's always, when it's backwards, it's hard to make sure it's on here. I think it's on here. All right, we're good. Okay, so 3 packages of cream cheese I have in here. I also have about 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm gonna dump about half of that in there. So I don't know, what's that, like 1/3 of a cup or something? We're kind of eyeballing everything today. I'm also gonna do about 1 teaspoon of almond extract, which I add to anything that calls for vanilla extract. It also gets almond extract. That's just the way I like it. So same with the vanilla extract, just about 1 teaspoon. And usually you can, instead of eyeballing it, you can use your cap. It's usually right at 1 teaspoon, most of the time. I won't say all the time, but most of the time. I'm also gonna add in maybe a couple of tablespoons of sour cream, just for like tanginess that cheesecake usually has. And then we're gonna put in some pumpkin. So this is really important to know, especially if you're a new home cook, is there is a difference between pumpkin pie filling and regular canned pumpkin. This is regular canned pumpkin. So this is what most of your recipes call for. Unless you're just gonna make a pie, then you want, and you wanna make it really easy, then you want the pumpkin pie filling, you just take it straight out of the can. But a lot of times if you're making a cake or a muffin, or you're making like a savory dish, which reminds me, I'll try to post that at the end of this video, is one of my favorite recipes, one of my favorite appetizers for Thanksgiving is a pumpkin pizza. Sounds crazy, but I swear to you, you have to give it a try because it's delicious. So we are gonna use about maybe a cup of this, and there's about, almost 2 cups in here. So we're gonna go out a little over half a can. Like I said, I'm just kind of eyeballing everything today. And then we're making this really easy, right? And then I need a couple of teaspoons. So let's say 1 and 2. That might be a little more, but that's okay. So that's the great thing about making your own. You can make it as sweet as you want. You can make it as spicy as you want. But because this is the regular pumpkin, it's not a pumpkin pie filling, that's why we need to put in the pumpkin pie spice, excuse me. And you know what? I put some of this on the other day that was delicious, was my coffee. I did some whipped cream over the top of it and then a little sprinkle of this, and it was absolutely delicious. All right, so we're gonna put this down, lock it in place. Yes, I'm on the right side. No, I'm not locked in place. There we go, now it's locked, okay. We're gonna let this spin around for a little bit. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, raise this up. I just wanna scrape my sides down one time here. I want to do a really good job at it. Make sure we get all of this nice and incorporated. There we go. And then we'll turn this back on and give it another whirl. Make sure it's locked down. What's the problem today? What am I doing wrong? Oh, I don't have it on there all the way. Okay. I told you it's hard to tell because I have it backwards whenever I'm filming. All right, try this again. Lock it into place. There we go. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise this up off of here. We'll take our paddle back off now. Actually, I'm just gonna set it down in there for right now. And then in here, my other little bowl, and I have this in a metal bowl instead of a glass bowl. Well, I'll be honest, for 2 reasons. I only have one of these, but for 2 is I like to get this really nice and cold. So in here is my heavy whipping cream, and I have 1 1/4 cups. And this time I'm gonna add my whip attachment, and we're gonna add the rest of our powdered sugar. So again, about 1/3 of a cup. Matter of fact, I might even make this a little bit sweeter. I think I normally use about a full cup. So I would do maybe a 1/2 cup here and a 1/2 cup here. I think I cut back a little bit on it today because I was using the pumpkin, but I'm thinking, I kind of tasted this a minute ago, it could be just a little bit sweeter. But I'll tell you what, that pumpkin pie spice is right on. It is absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on and get this whipping. And the trick to getting this really smooth cheesecake is to whip this to really stiff peaks. So you're gonna wanna let this whip for just a little bit. All right. I'm going to take this off here. And you see how stiff this is? Like that's really, really stiff peaks. All right, so I'm going to take this, put it out in the sink, take this off of here, scoot this out of the way. Hopefully y'all can see. And you can just use your mixer to mix it back together, but I like to try to fold it together because we just took all that time whipping all that air into our cream. And I really want to kind of keep it nice and fluffy. And so we're going to fold this in versus beating it in. And again, one of the things I love about this is you can do this up in advance. So you're saving yourself the time, you know, when you're running behind on Thanksgiving, trying to get everything done. I know I do. And again, on Thanksgiving, I have so many things going in and out of the oven. I have so many timers set. And if I can do a dessert ahead of time that doesn't need to be done in the oven, that's saving me oven space also. So that's an awesome thing. And that is looking pretty good. So I just kind of look and make sure that I don't have any streaks of like the white or the pumpkin. And actually, if you wanted to kind of make it more of like a swirled, I guess you could kind of leave it like that. You could kind of swirl it. But that's kind of what I look for, is to make sure it's the colors all nice and even. And then I got our crust back out of the freezer. And we're just going to put all of this, we'll scoot it over, right on top. Man, these glass bowls are heavy. Ooh, it smells so good. You can really tell that that is like quality pumpkin pie seasoning. So I'm just going to take my spatula and we're going to smooth it all out. Try to make it about as even as I can all the way across here. All right, and then once I think that is about as even as it's going to get, I'm going to grab some aluminum foil. I'm going to cover this, and then I'm just going to put this in the fridge overnight, and we're going to let this firm up. So if you're short on time, you don't have overnight, a couple of hours will probably be okay. But for now, I'm just going to move this on off to the fridge, and we'll let it sit in there overnight. Okay, so our cheesecake should be done. This has been in the fridge overnight. And I'm going to run a knife around the edge here real quick. And you know, we probably could have put a parchment circle under here. And you know what? I'm going to taste this really quick. It tastes like the holidays. I love it. And the reason I did that was because I'm actually going to put this in the freezer since I've got exactly 2 weeks until Thanksgiving. And then I'm going to take it to my daughter's house for Thanksgiving. And I don't even know that I'm going to try to transfer it from the bottom of here because I didn't put parchment paper under there like I should have. So I think what I'm going to do is decorate the top and decorate the sides. And for the decorating, all I did was the same thing I did yesterday with the whipped cream and powdered sugar. I just did a little bit of, I used what was left in the, actually I'm lying. I used what was left in there, and I also used a half of another one. So I would say I used probably about 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream and about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. So I'm just going to make little, and I am not the best at this, but we're going to give it a try. We are going to go all the way around our little cheesecake here. And then after I made the whipping cream, like we did yesterday, I just transferred it over to my little Pampered Chef piping bag. Yeah, see, my skills aren't the best, but they're not the worst, are they? I don't know. You guys tell me. This takes practice, I'm sure. These look like little flowers. I didn't know what kind of tip to put in here today. There we go. Yeah, I think we will go around the edges. And then I'll just have to find a way to put this in the freezer that I don't ruin all the prettiness, because I don't think I will be able to put my glass dome back on top. But I might be able to find a way to wrap this in plastic. That might work. Yeah, it's not looking too bad, huh? don't know if it looks like Thanksgiving or not, but boy, it tastes like Thanksgiving. Thanks to our pumpkin pie seasoning. How are you supposed to do this? Are you supposed to twist this thing? I think I should be getting better at this by now. But I'm not. I'm better at eating than I am cooking or decorating. And there we go. Yeah, I think it's pretty. For some reason, it reminds me of the flowers from Hawaii. It reminds me of like the Hawaiian leis, I think. But it's cute, right? Let's see. So in here, I like this too, because if you want, a lot of times you have like a little sprinkle where you can sprinkle on one side, or you can put like your little teaspoon. This one, if you want to get like a teaspoonful, you open it up. And then on this side, you have a large sprinkle, and on this side, you have a small sprinkle, which I think is cute. So we're just going to give a little dusting on the top of here, just a little bit of color. And I almost thought about putting like a caramel glaze over this, but then I kind of forgot. So maybe it wasn't meant to be. But isn't that pretty? Super cute, right? But again, this is great because you can make this up in advance. You can, and like I said, I'm going to put this in the freezer for, 2 weeks, and it'll be good to go. I'll take it out the day before, put it in the fridge, and it should be thawed out, ready to go. Save myself some time and energy on Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time. Bye.